welcome. So glad you're here. I've got an oldie but a goodie for you today, and you know it can't be too long before I share more from Parker Palmer and To Know As We Are Known. If you don't have this book by now and you've been listening for 5 years, I don't know, you don't believe me or trust me, because this book is so good. I want you to read it. I have just a small piece to read to you today, and it is from page 122 in this first edition, and it is about community. Community, I have claimed, is the nature of reality, the shape of our being. Whether we like it or not, acknowledge it or not, we are in community with one another, implicated in each other's lives. But community is not the collective identity of the crowd that cancels out all selfhood. No, nor is it a mystic merger into a single cosmic self. Instead, it is a network of relationships between individual persons, solitary selves, each with an identity and an integrity. That self is all any of us has to bring to this community. If we are to bring our identity and integrity, if we are to bring our personal truth rather than a destructive package of illusions and lies, the discipline of solitude is essential. In solitude, we come to know ourselves as we are, to know ourselves as we are known by love. I don't know, not so much about solitude today that I want to mention to you, but this idea that community beckons us, and it does so because we are all a part of the human community. We have that in common, and yet we need smaller groups. We need to be known inside a smaller community than just the human race. And to understand ourselves, we need that. One of the reasons why I always I use this little book in my interpersonal communication classes, To Know As We Are Known, Education as a Spiritual Journey, is because he spends so much time talking about the intrapersonal realm, that inner dialogue that we have, that inner knowing and lack of knowing, and what we need to bring to the community. We don't just bring our bodies. We don't just bring our minds. We don't just bring our spirit. We bring a whole self. And sometimes we want, I think this is true probably for all of us at some time in our life, and some of us never get over this, that we want community and we want that sense of belonging so much that we don't bring a true self. We bring such a heavily masked self that we are unrecognizable to ourselves, and then feel like phonies, or feel like, even though we have a community, we have 7 friends, or we have 20 friends, or we have a bunch of people in our circle who we can do things with, we still are not really known, and we don't know others the way we'd like to know them. And it's not because we don't want that. It's because we're afraid to let ourselves truly be known, because then what if they boot us out? What if they shun us? What if they don't like us? What if they don't like truly what I have to say? What if they are adverse to my opinion when I voice it? And so we bring this kind of half-lived life, or half-disclosed self, or maybe sometimes not even disclosed at all. Maybe it's a whole big pretense. I think we've all either read stories, watched films, or actually been in situations and known people who have passed on, and the people around them say, I guess I didn't know her at all. Or I thought I knew him. I guess I didn't know him at all. And, that's on us as much as it is on the person. Like, we could be more inquisitive and curious about the people that we are in relationship with. How are you doing? What are you thinking about lately? How do you feel about such and such? And kind of ask questions that are probing once in a while, instead of getting too intense, but once in a while asking those kind of questions. But really, each of us needs to bring a self to the others in the community that is free to let the mask down, to laugh loudly, to snort when you laugh sometimes. Maybe if my sister's listening now, she's going to laugh at that, because we do that sometimes. to reveal things about ourselves, self-disclosure there, that takes a risk. Any kind of self-disclosure is a risk. It's that same risk of being known. But the fruit from that and the joy in that, in the truth of revealing who we really are, is unsurpassed. There's hardly more in life that gives us joy and helps us feel satisfied in really being able to, my mother used to call it let our hair down, that allow us to really just be who we truly are, bring that truthful self, that whole self to the other. And I think sometimes the long-lasting, lifelong friendships are really, I don't want to say the best because, gosh, new friendships can be great too, but friendships that last a long time, marriages that last a long time, like the layers get unveiled as you go more and more and more. And you get to a point after 10, 20, 30, 40 years where you look back and you say, I've known you for a long time, and I know that's not your heart. Why don't you tell me what's really going on? Or someone says something, you've known them for a long time, and they say something that seems so out of character. You can step back and let grace prevail there instead of nailing them to the wall over it or accusing or whatever, or taking offense, because you know that person. You know, that's their quirk, and you love them, quirks and all. Or again, as Mom used to say, warts and all. I don't know if she knew any people who had warts. I once had a planter's wart, and boy, that was painful to get rid of. Stuff I think about here while I'm talking to you on The Secret Place. Anyway, this book, again, To Know As We Are Known, will help you walk through some of these lessons. I use this book also to Communicating for Life by Quentin Schultz. I use that in interpersonal communication as well. For 20 years, I've been using these two books. This one, he has so much to say about community and that very thing we were talking about and how the self relates to community. But he's got a new edition out by Integratio Press. It's the same name, Communicating for Life, but it's got like 10 or 12. It's got a lot of new contributors, people I know that are really terrific scholars and thinkers. And he's updated it, and I can't wait to use that in the fall, the first time with my interpersonal communication students. You know I'm going to be using this one too. In any case, I hope you're happy that you listened and you've come and spent your 5 or 7 whatever minutes this turns out to be with me. I wish we could be having tea right now and maybe a couple of cookies too, and just laughing, giggling, or talking seriously about important subjects too, because I love conversation and I love people and I love to get to know you. And even though we can only get to know each other a little bit through these comments and questions and dialogue through text on YouTube, I still think it's worthwhile and just appreciate you whenever you do that. So God bless you today. Have a wonderful day, a great afternoon, an even better evening, good night's sleep tonight, and an excellent week ahead. And I hope to talk to you soon.